opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network. What is up, everybody? Welcome inside a wonderful Tuesday episode of Running Point on YSNLive.com, brought to you by our good friends over, right there, right-hand corner of the screen, Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. They go the extra mile for you. We try to do the same here on this show every single day. We do that by our coaches' corners, our player profiles, our interviews that we feature on the show. That's how we go the extra mile for you. But Greenwood goes the extra mile by taking care of all of your new or used car needs. If you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, make sure to go on down to Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Check them out. They'll take care of you. Or if you're in need of their service department, they have a great one there too. So make sure, go down to Greenwood, have them take care of you, come back to YSN, and let us go the extra mile for you like they do. Today's show is going to be a good one. We're going to recap all the action that happened last night. We had a bunch of volleyball and soccer that went on a night ago. We're going to preview the night that is. We have a big night in volleyball, a lot of big rivalry matchups, a lot on the line tonight in volleyball. We will go over all of that today as well. And then between that, we will also feature a player profile today with Boardman Volleyball senior Nina Tran. She joined us last week for a player profile. So we will feature her player profile today on the show. So all of that looked forward to and more. But as we always do, let's start in the scoreboard. Let's go to the scoreboard on ysnlive.com and see what happened last night to talk about. So here's the scoreboard on ysnlive.com, brought to you by our good friends over at Burnett Pool Spas and Hot Tubs. The YSN scoreboard is a great and easy way for the YSN fans to get live updated scores. Whether you are at one of the games or watching one of our broadcasts, either way, you don't want to look away from the action for too long, and the YSN scoreboard is a great and easy way to get live updated scores on your favorite teams across the YSN family, whether it be your heated rivals that you're trying to, conference scoreboard watch, or maybe your best friends that play for another school that you want to see how they did. The YSN scoreboard is there for you. You can find the YSN scoreboard at ysnlive.com/scores. And it is presented once again by Burnett Pools, Spas, and Hot Tubs. Here we go into last night's scoreboard volleyball. We will start with that. Lordstown St. John, all Heralds, as they continue to go undefeated on the season. They are 8-0 so far with a sweep over Lordstown. Badger and Fairport Harding doing some battle. And it is the Braves that get the win 3-0 in this one. Wycliffe beats Orange in 4 sets last night, as Orange battles but cannot pull it out. Grand Valley gets the sweep over Maplewood, 3-0 the final score there. We have Mohawk doing some battle in the PA world against Freedom, and Mohawk gets to win in straight sets. Boardman beats Poland in straight sets as well, 3-0 the final there. Middle Ridge and Campbell, I was at this one. We will talk about this game in a little bit more length after the scoreboard is over, but Middle Ridge does get the win in 4 sets, 3-1. We talk about Wyndham. They fall in another 5-set tough one. They've had a lot of those this year. Shocker gets them in 5, 3-2. Tough one for the Bombers. Columbiana goes to Heartland Christian, gets the big win in straight sets. They were competitive sets. I'll give Heartland Christian a lot of credit. They really fought a very good Columbiana team. They made Columbiana work for it. But in the end, it was 3 straight in a row for the Clippers. They win. McDonald gets the win over Jackson Milton, straight sets 3-0 the final there. Southern Local, they win over Madonna 3-0 in the straight sets. Pymatuning Valley is able to get past Matthews in 4 sets, 3-1. That's the 6th win of the season for the Lakers. After a little bit of a trouble start, they have really found a winning streak, and they continue to do good things on the volleyball court. South Range gets back on track. They have their 5th win of the year as they go to Warren Harding and win the Battle of the Raiders. It's a 3-0 sweep for South Range. Struthers sweeps as well inside the SVC as they win 3-0 over Cheney. Struthers and South Range playing each other tonight, both coming off of a straight set sweep. Wellsville goes to Toronto, wins that one 3-1, your final score there. Hubbard, they get the win over Ursuline, 3-0, straight sets for the Eagles. Big win for Hubbard. Springfield gets a battle from Waterloo, but it still ends up the victors in 4 sets, 3-1 your final. Western Reserve over Sebring in straight sets. We have Crestview over Liberty in straight sets inside the MVAC. Southeast falls to Newton Falls, 3-0 the final there. Last but not least, Hoban still unbeaten as they win 11-0. Excuse me. They win in straight sets over Mentor. So Hoban undefeated halfway through the season as they have played 11 games and gotten 11 wins. Boys soccer, let's go into it. We have Warren JFK. They are able to cruise over Pymatuning Valley 9-1, your final score there. Badger able to shut out Grand Valley 3-0, the final in that one. Champion LeBray doing some work, and it is Champion that gets the 6-1 victory in that one. Columbiana all over Matthews, 12-0 the final score in that match. Garfield and Crestview, it's all Rebels in this one, 8-0 the final score. Campbell and Jackson Milton, they draw at 0-0, so no one scores in that one for the whole game. They end in a tie. Newton Falls and Brookfield both score quite a bit, 6-4. The Tigers get the win. Middle Ridge and Southeast tie at 1 apiece in the MVAC battle. And Waterloo and Liberty, they have a really good one too. Waterloo gets the edge, 4-3, the final score there. Orange Boys all over LaGrange Keystone. They win 11-0, the final score there. And then in girls soccer, we have Crestwood going to Jefferson, getting the win 11-3. Girard goes to South Range, wins 4-1. Lakeview all over Ursuline, 6-0. Crestview beats Salem. Salem beats Crestview, my bad, 3-0, the final score there. Badger able to get the win over Grand Valley in a close one, 6-5. The final score, a lot of scoring going down in that one. Canfield edges Boardman, 3-0 the final. We have Newton Falls. They fell to Columbiana, 7-1. Austintown Fitch, they fall to Howland, 3-0. Howland looking really, really good on both sides of soccer. JFK, they get the win over Ridgetown, 2-1 the final score. D.D. Ryan, another big game, no shocker there. Hubbard gets the win falls to Niles 5-2. The final score, Champion wins over Springfield 2-1. Mainly endowed with the 2 goals for Champion that end up being the winning goals. Poland all over Struthers, 11-1, the final score there. Those Bulldogs are rocking and rolling through the soccer season. Mooney gets the win over Cuyahoga Heights, 4-0 the final score there. Beaver gets the win over Avon Worth, 1-0. And then Mohawk and Freedom doing battle, and Mohawk gets the win in this one, 2-1. So that's the scoreboard from last night. Let's go back up to the volleyball side and talk about some of these games and break down some of these big stat getters. We'll start with the game that I was at. Middle Ridge and Campbell, they did their first ever conference matchup. as members of the MVAC. Campbell moving to the Scarlet tier this year, of course. And Middle Ridge, they're kind of, they're in a tough spot. Their middle blocker, Gianna Wilson, suffered an injury a couple of games ago. They're trying to fill, that hole, of course. And they're already trying to fill a lot of big seniors that graduated a year ago. So a lot of adversity this year for Middle Ridge, but man, they worked through it. They found a way to come through in this one. The big turning point in this match, Camel, after losing set one, a close one, I think it was 25-20 in set one. Camel comes back. They're up in set two handily. They have a 20-11 lead in this set. It's danger time for Middle Ridge, right? They're losing the set. They're losing momentum. And with freshman Ariana Kays on the service line, Middle Ridge works a 10-0 rally to eventually go up 21-20. And then, I'm sorry, it was 19-11, but they went up 20-19. But eventually won 25-21. So they scored, 14 of the last 16 points of the set. And they won set two, took a 2-0 lead. Props to Camel for coming back from that, because that could have tanked a lot of teams, right? That could have put a lot of teams into the despair of momentum. But it didn't. They came back. They won set three. They just could not do enough to win set four. Middle Ridge bounced right back, took another step, won set four. This was a game where both defenses were just very scrappy. It wasn't the cleanest volleyball in the world by any means. They just found a way to get the ball over, found a way to keep the ball alive, found a way to keep going. And that's, I think, what both these teams are dealing with. They have both lost a lot of leadership from last year. You look at Middle Ridge. Samantha Aulette, no longer there. Their setter's gone. Faith Schneider, Bussy, one of their middle blockers, gone. So you lose a lot of leadership there. Camel lost all but one starter from last year's team. And Mylena Williams, who returns last year, only was a 3-rotation player. So they have no one back that played all 6 rotations. They lost their setter. They lost their best hitters. They had a lot to kind of replace, but the talent level right now is there in Campbell. Like I see it last night. The talent is there. They have a great setter in Dejanelle Will. They have obviously who is, I said it again, at least once a show, right? They have Mylena Williams, who is just wrecking the ball right now. She had a great night last night, a match-high 22 kills. So Mylena Williams is there. She's got the power, but then they have other hitters that they can go to as well that really swung the ball well last night. So you have the hitters, you have the setter, the defense a little bit down from last year. So you got to get some back row consistency. But, if that's the biggest problem after losing what they did, I think Coach Allen's pretty happy. What he needs now, what he's looking for, is just that consistent leadership mentality, because they lost so much leadership in that senior class that was just driving this Camel team to become the best Camel team we've ever seen in the volleyball. Literally, like they're the best record they've ever had, their first tournament win in program history, all the fun stuff they did for the first time in Camel volleyball. That senior class worked so hard to get there, and now they're gone, and it just feels like that they're trying to find someone else to pick it up now, because those seniors, they led so much that other people really didn't have to lead for the last 3 years. So now it's like, okay, who's going to be that person in that set two, right? When Middle Ridge is on a run, who's going to be that person that isn't the coach, isn't named Coach Allen, that is going to fire the team up and say, let's go, let's get off the floor, let's go, let's win this set, let's end this rally, let's side out right now, and we got to manage to get through. They don't have that right now consistently. They have all the talent, they have all the energy. I love just the energy, right? From the bench, from the JVs in the stands, cheering and stomping on the bleachers in rhythm. It's just something you don't see from high school volleyball a lot. So I love the energy and rhythm. It really makes me feel like I'm watching a college volleyball game. If you ever watch college volleyball, the bench energy is ridiculous. From the college volleyball standpoint, they're all standing. There's no sitting in college volleyball. There's no sitting on the bench. Everyone's standing. I wish some teams would just do that in high school, just all stand in the corner, forget about sitting on the bench. But the energy is there, and the energy was there for Camel volleyball. Love seeing it. They have a great coaching staff, hands down. What Tyler Allen has done with that staff and what that staff has done with that team, bar none, one of the best turnarounds we've ever seen. So everything is there. I think they just need to find that leader, and they can find it. There are definitely kids on that team that can be that leader. So for Camel right now, I think it's just trying to navigate through it and trying to find that leader sometime this season. And if they do, and they have that consistency of power because of it, they're going to be something that you do not want to see come tournament time. You will not want to see Camel in that bracket if they find that consistent leadership on the floor at some time this season. As far as Middle Ridge goes, MVAC still technically on the table. They have some work to do. They've lost twice in the MVAC, so they're 2 games back at McDonald, who took a game that we see right there against Jacksonville. And that was a team that I think a lot of teams could have counted on to maybe steal a game against McDonald. Now they'll still have another one against Jacksonville. First set was really close, 25-21. Second set, still competitive. And then the third set, McDonald just wore down the Blue Jays. And when Gianna Constantino comes up and has 23 kills, 19 digs, that's going to wear you down eventually, right? That offense that she brings and the defense that she brings as a full rotation player, just too much. Talk about some of these other games that happened along the area. Like I said, the Heartland Christian was really impressed with their fight in this game. I think on paper you look at it and a lot of people were like, oh, it's Columbiana's game. Like, why are we playing this? But Heartland Christian, who has really good players, Maddie Neville, who is just a ridiculously talented volleyball player. We remember her sister Tess, who played for Crestview not too long ago. She's leading that team in almost every offensive category, and they have other players that are contributing from the offensive side of the ball, and they have 6 wins. And they're kind of under the radar right now. So I think Columbiana went into Heartland a little under the radar. They definitely won the 3 sets, but they were 3 tough sets, especially the first 2, 25-19, 25-19. So the Clippers had to work, and that's good for Columbiana because there's a lot of matches this season so far where the Clippers were not tested too much. They weren't able to get that fire from the other side of the net that they need. So to be able to play a team that really pushes them, not just good for Heartland Christian going forward to say, hey, we can compete with the Columbianas of the world. Like, don't forget about Heartland Christian. But it's also good for Columbiana to get tested, to get pushed a little bit, and to have to deal with a couple of strides of momentum on the other side of the net, because when they get in the tournament time, they're going to have to deal with it eventually, right? So the more you can test yourselves against that kind of stuff in the regular season, definitely the better. There was one more I wanted to bring up. Springfield Waterloo. Look at these set scores. I was so impressed. Waterloo lost the first set 25-5. I mean, that is a set where 9 teams out of 10, you lose 25-5, you're done, right? You've mentally checked out, you've packed the bags, you're focusing on the next game because you're like, man, how do we make up 20 points in a set? We just can't do it. They won the next set. They tied it up 21-1. I think it was 25-22. And the rest of the sets were close. So whatever happened in that first set, if Waterloo can just wash that out of everything that ever happens to them, like, hey, you know what? Let's just never play like that again. It was impressive. I have never seen a team lose a set that badly, come back and just fire up the rest of the match, push it to 4, and make it 4 competitive sets. That was really impressive. Wasn't able to watch it live, but looking at the scores, you can just tell, like, okay, Waterloo's got some heart. Waterloo's got some really deep fire in their gut to be able to say, hey, we lost that one badly. Like, we weren't even close. 25-5. We're gonna come back. We're gonna win set 2. We're gonna push Springfield, make sure they know that they played us. Very impressive. Western Reserve has won 3 in a row now. They're pushing. They have Middle Ridge tonight. That should be a fun one. Hoban, number 1 in the power rankings, and it's not close. The numbers have heavily favored the Knights, and it's because not only are they 11-0 now, they're playing bigger teams, and more importantly, because we weigh wins a lot more than we do the division bonus on the power ranking algorithm that we put in for volleyball. which we had to do ourselves, by the way. Football is all Joe Itel, using the OHSA computer stats. We just kind of line them up instead of by division. We line them all up in the Ysn family and put them in that way. But volleyball, there was none of that. So we had to kind of create our own algorithm for volleyball. We think we did a really fair job, and we like what our rankings are right now. But Hoban, because they're not just playing big teams, which helps out a little bit, but because they're playing teams that are big and that win a lot. I mean, you look at the amount of 5+ win teams they have on their schedule. They're just cruise control right now. These are good teams they're playing, and they're making them look silly. The Knights are for real. They're number 2 in the state right now in Division 3. The first state polls came out yesterday. We went over them on the show. Hoban, man, they went 24-1 last year. Fell short, weren't able to get the state. This team, they look state bound. They look like they can crack state. Division 3 is a tough one, but my word, I think they're going to help. I think there are some teams that were in Division 1 that were kind of like huge brick walls that are really hard to get by, that they'll avoid now. Still very tough division. I would say 5 is still toughest because of Lake Center. I mean, because of Mineral Lake Catholic, what they're bringing. Mineral Lake Catholic is pretty much a college team, but Division 3 is very good. So yes, the Knights will be tested, but their schedule is almost all Division 1 and 2. Well, I don't see a lot of Division 3 teams pop up on their schedule right now. Maybe in the back half. But Coach Maloof doing a wonderful job in Hoban, trying to get this team to the promised land. They're 11-0 right now, rocking and rolling. They beat Mentor last night, and we can't wait to get them more on the network. We've had them on the network just a couple of times so far this year. Ty Bartell itching to get back into the castle and call more of this Hoban team that is just blowing people out of the water. And they keep winning. The power rankings are going to be won for a while. Now, power rankings don't mean much. They're just a conversation piece for YSN in a way for us to put teams on a pedestal a little bit and shine a light on the teams that are doing really well. So it's not like it has any bearing. But if you're one of those people that likes power rankings and likes watching them and likes seeing like what teams can do to crack into the top 25, or if you're a top 10 team, what can you do to crack in the top 5, and what can you do to crack into the number 1 spot? I'll tell you right now, the way it's trending, if you want to get number 1, you're going to have to win against good teams that are big, and you're also going to have to hope that maybe Hoban loses a couple down the stretch, because their lead in the power rankings is big, and they continue to roll against big teams that are also winning. Like I said, winning means more in our power ranking algorithm for your opponents than the size that they are in. You do get a bonus for size. You do get that plus for the division bonus. But even more so, you get a plus for how many wins your opponents have. And right now, Hoban, among the leaders in the YSN family with opponent wins, they're not at the top, but they're among the lead, and they're playing huge teams. Mentor along with those lines. So Hoban looking very, very good. I can't wait to see them live. I know I will sometime this season, but they're looking really good. Amber Watson is the name to watch absolutely on their offense. She's absolutely just drilling it right now from the outside hitter spot. Like I said, I think Hoban looks like they're poised to maybe make a run to state. I think we have a couple of teams that could get there this year. Hoban's one of them. Hoban is absolutely one of those teams that I watch, and I watch on tape. I haven't watched live yet, but I watch on tape from our broadcast that we've been able to do, and I go, man, that team's good. They're doing everything right. They're running the right rotations. They're running plays. They're running, those slides and those things that just make it so hard to defend. So Hoban is rocking and rolling, and so are we here on Running Point. We will take a break. When we come back, we have a player profile to feature. We will hear from Boardman Sr. on the volleyball team, Nina Tran. That's coming up next on Running Point, brought to you by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Don't go anywhere.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens. on air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update.
Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
I'm on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
Craftsmanship to us is 60 years of pride and dedication.
Passed down from generation to generation.
The hardwood floors that your kids take their first steps on.
The solid wood doors you quietly close at night.
The things we create day in and day out are the products that end up turning your house into a home.
At Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods, uncompromising quality and craftsmanship built our business.
And it will keep us moving forward for generations to come.
Going the extra mile at Greenwood Chevrolet means we want to take care of the community that takes care of us too.
And we have to work together always. And that's how you stay in business for 40 years.
You know, I love being a helper because when I help somebody, it makes me feel good.
It means a lot that I can make a difference in others' lives.
So I will do everything I can and just being there for them every step of the way.
I want them to know within the first 5 minutes that they could depend on me. That's what going the extra mile means, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun, it all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, no job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
Welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Anthony Hartwig with you. We are so happy that you're aboard on this Tuesday episode. And like I said before the break, one of the ways we always go the extra mile, if you're a new watcher or a new listener, I guess I should say, whether you're watching or listening in the background, one of the things we do, try to do every day, is feature a player profile or coach's corner from the community and the players that we cover here on YSN. We will continue that trend today. We have Nina Tran, the senior from Spartanville in Boardman, to talk to us about her senior season and what she's got going on for herself. So here's that player profile featured for you today on Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet. Boardman volleyball, we're back at you with another player profile. We have senior Nina Tran. Nina, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Of course, thank you for having me.
You're going into your senior year. Talk to me about what it's been like to kind of deal with that emotion and that mental aspect of knowing that this is your last ride and you have to take it all in.
Yeah, it's definitely sad, but very exciting. I've definitely gotten sentimental already. Definitely after the football game. It was such a big win, and I was just so happy to be with my friends. And
you know, some seniors, when we're talking to them, it hits them almost right away that it's their last year. And then some seniors tell us that it doesn't really hit them until senior night or their last game. What side of the fence are you on? Did you kind of understand a reality hit that it's your last year, or do you think that's going to set in more when the end of the season comes around?
Volleyball wise, it'll definitely settle in during senior night, but just like as a student and the rest of my life, I definitely feel like a senior.
As a senior this year, you've been put a lot of responsibilities on your shoulder, a lot of more leadership asked of you this year. What's that been like for you to step up as a leader of this team and to try to guide a lot of new faces on this varsity floor?
Yeah, it's been a little difficult to get used to, but I feel like I've always been a natural leader, and it's just such a great group of girls that I'm excited to lead, and I just love all of them.
How would you describe yourself as a leader? Like, what do you think are the biggest attributes of leadership that you bring to the team?
I like to say that I'm pretty vocal, and I stay positive a lot of the time. Volleyball's very much a mental sport, so I just like to keep the spirits up and just cheer on my teammates.
You know, we see a lot of either young or new faces on this varsity floor. Either they're young or they're kind of stepping into much bigger roles this year. Are there any of them underclassmen or youth that you've kind of taken under your wing a little bit and that you're kind of watching them succeed and kind of like the proud mom watching them going, man, I really I tried to teach them a lot?
Yeah, Gianna Commons, Ava's sister. She's my favorite freshman ever. And it's just so amazing to see her play because she's so similar to Ava, and I just see a lot of potential in her, and I really love it.
One of the things that you and her have in common is the defense that you're both able to play in the back row. It's an unsung part of volleyball, getting those digs on hard hits. How much pride do you take in your back row defense?
I take a lot of pride in it. I've always wanted to be a libero, like ever since like in middle school. I was just always watching these YouTube compilations of like libero saves, and yeah, I love my position. I love my sport.
Let's talk about the start of your volleyball career and when you kind of started to pick it up and when you started to fall in love with the sport like you have.
Middle school was definitely like the beginning of it. My sister used to play with me like even before middle school, and I just always loved just playing. It was so fun, and yeah.
You know, people will look at you and see that you only play volleyball and think, man, Nina has a lot of free time on her hands. But when I look at your extracurricular activities that you're involved in, I go, no, not a lot of free time. I mean, not just club volleyball, but you're in so many, clubs in the school, and you're in the future leaders, and you work a job as well. How much do you like keeping yourself busy and making sure that you don't have those idle hands where you're just twiddling your thumbs with nothing to do?
Yeah, I really like keeping my schedule busy, just like so I don't have nothing to do, and it just makes me feel more productive because like all the time that I have in my hands, I could use to be doing something.
You would do all that and you still maintain a 4.0 GPA. How much pride? I mean, we talked about pride in your defense. I think the 4.0 GPA might take you a little bit further. How much pride do you take in the fact that you've been able to accomplish that so far in your career, and the fact that you've been able to work so hard in the classroom?
A lot of pride. It's not been easy to keep my 4.0. I'll tell you that. There's some really hard classes that I've taken, but I'm just really proud of myself.
Was 4.0 a goal as soon as you hit high school, or do you think like after sophomore year when you still had it, you were like, okay, let's bear down junior and senior year to make sure I keep it?
It was definitely a goal from the beginning, yeah.
When you set that goal, what were some things that really set you apart? Not everyone can get a 4.0. Everyone works hard, everyone studies hard. Not everyone can get that kind of grade. So what were some of your routines and some of the things that you did to make sure that you were able to do that?
I think time in the classroom is really valuable. Just like people usually zone out like during class or whatever, but like using that time during class to like actually pay attention and take notes, it's really helpful.
All right, I want to talk about your favorite subjects that you've studied so far in Boardman. I know that the school offers so many things that you can take and so many avenues of your interest. So what are some of the favorite classes that you've been able to take over your years?
My favorite classes have been probably AP Psych, AP US History, just like more of the humanities classes that I've taken. I'm just really interested in those, and yeah, those are really fun.
Just put AP in front of everything, right? With Nina. What are some of the classes that have made you work a little bit harder, that made you really bear down and struggle to get that 4.0 GPA?
Definitely chemistry. Struggled a lot in that class. It was just like so different from what I've like done before. But yeah, that was pretty hard.
Do you have any fellow students that have like helped you study or helped you really get to where you are, that you think, man, if I didn't go through this class with this person or this group of people, I just would not be able to maintain the grades that I did?
Yeah, I have a lot of friends that have like basically the same schedule as me. My friend Ashley, yeah, they just have helped me study and just they just push me to be better.
Now, you do play club volleyball, but you've also put in your questionnaire that you have decided to not pursue a career outside of high school. And I want to talk about that decision because you've put a lot of time into volleyball, and sometimes people realize that it's just not going to be the avenue that they take into their career after high school. And I'm sure that was a tough decision with all the time that you've put into the sport. What went into it, and what kind of made you start to feel like that you were born for better things than the volleyball court when you graduate high school?
Yeah, a lot of people have told me that I have the potential to be recruited and everything like that. And I love volleyball. I love volleyball as a sport. But to be a college athlete is a really big time commitment and physical commitment. And I just feel like I wouldn't be able to like put my best foot forward in college if I was a full-time athlete.
Now that you know, like you know that you made that decision going into your senior year, how much more special does that make this season, knowing that it is truly your last season of competitive volleyball?
It's so special. I feel it every time I step out on the court because I'm not playing club either this year, so it makes me really sentimental. I'm just really sentimental this year.
One of the questions I love to ask about players that aren't going to continue their athletic career is how they're going to keep that competitive fire in their life, because that won't go away no matter how much you stay away from the volleyball court. You're not going to get rid of that juice, that thing that drives you to compete. So what kind of things do you think are going to replace volleyball in your competitive attitude?
I'm definitely like open to like club volleyball in college, like intramural, and maybe looking at some lower level like coaching positions. But
I
yeah,
was
I
gonna
definitely want to keep volleyball in my life.
I was gonna ask that. Perfect segue, because you're such a natural leader. Do you think that like coaching is something that you would pursue in a future after you're done with college and you kind of have time to think about coaching? Do you think you'd make a good coach?
Yeah, it's definitely not off the table. I think I'd really enjoy doing that. Yeah.
When you think about things that you do want to do after high school, what are some of your goals? Some of the things that you want to see in your future?
First, I want to get my bachelor's degree, and then hopefully along the way, my ultimate goal is law school.
What's driving you towards that want to go to law school and to pursue that career?
I've always been sort of like argumentative person, and I know a lot of people say like I want to be a lawyer to argue, but I really feel passionate about like the law, and it's just something that has piqued my interest like for a while.
In your questionnaire, you were adamant that you wanted to go to school out of state. You did not want to stay in Ohio. Do you have a state that you want to go to? Do you have like a dream state that you'd want to be at for college?
Definitely looking at schools in Florida because I used to live down there, and it just feels like home. Definitely Florida.
You just want the sunshine.
Yeah.
Sick of the winter. It's okay.
Yeah.
You can say it. Winter sucks. When you think about, sorry, lost you for a second, but we're good.
We're good.
When you think about, things that you're so proud of that you've been able to accomplish so far in your career, whether it be on the volleyball court, in the classroom, or just something else in your high school experience, what are some things that when you walk down the aisle and you graduate that you're going to reflect on and say, I'm so proud that I was able to do that while I was at Boardman?
I'm so proud to be on the volleyball team to start because it's just such a special group of girls, and I think it really helped me build a sense of community in high school. And I'm just proud that I have like put myself out there and like done the best I could in high school. And yeah, high school has just been a really good experience for me.
We've talked about students that have helped you along the way and the people that are in your friend group that really have helped you study and they get to where you are. But what about some role models in life? People that you think that you can go to whenever you need something and you know they're going to be there.
My parents are definitely my biggest inspiration. They help me do everything. They do everything for me. And there's definitely been a couple teachers in the school that have just like guided me through high school and like helped me a lot.
To expand on that question and to end this interview, we do it all the time with our player profiles. We give you the chance to kind of take the limelight off yourself and to talk about the people that have been there for you, that have supported you, that you wouldn't be where you are without. So I want to give you your time to send out your shout outs and your thanks to the people that really support you and that you wouldn't be where you are without.
Yeah, first I want to thank my parents, of course, and my sister, just my whole family, and my friends for showing up to all my games and just supporting me in the classroom and for my sport, and my teammates as well, because I just wouldn't be able to do it without them. And I love my teammates.
Nina, we want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We appreciate the time. We appreciate you coming on, talking about your senior year. We wish you the best of luck heading forward, and we'll talk to you real soon.
Thank you so much. Bye.
That was Nina Tran from Boardman Volleyball, the senior. What a great player profile that was in conversation. Someone that works so hard on the volleyball court, harder in the classroom. And when she becomes a lawyer, if you're on the other side, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. I think no one's going to be more prepared for for that case than Nina is. What a great student athlete. Just a great conversation. We've had a lot of great ones with Boardman. You saw on our social media pages that we have cross country ones coming out. We just recorded them this afternoon right before the show. We had 3 cross country runners on. We'll have 3 more get recorded tomorrow as we prepare for the Spartan Invitational that we're going to be broadcasting from on Saturday. Everyone on Boardman is so excited about it. It is one of the largest, cross country events, not just in the state but in the country. A lot of different teams from different areas come out to be a part of it. We're a part of it last year. We'll be a part of it again this year. We can't wait to be out there, and we can't wait to feature a lot of these Boardman cross country runners that are a big part of why that is such a success. So stay tuned on the website and on our social media pages for those profiles to pop up here very soon. Tonight is a big night on the volleyball court. We have a lot on the line. This is rivalry night. We want to talk about it. Let's go over the upcoming night schedule for what we got across the Ysn family today. We'll go from Monday's schedule on to tonight's as we recapped yesterday. Let's scroll down to the bottom here a little bit. For those of you new to our scoreboard, to get to the next day or any day you want, you scroll to the bottom here, and the dates can be found at the bottom right there. So September 10th is today. Let's look at what we got. Big volleyball matchups, a lot of rivalries, a lot of things going down. Pymatuning Valley and St. John, they're both on winning streaks. St. John obviously undefeated. Edgewood and Lakeside, that's a big Ashtabula County rivalry. How about Salem West Branch? Doesn't get much bigger than that. How about Beaver Local and East Liverpool? They're both on a tear. They both have been playing really well this year. Kenzie Headley and Ava Green both really playing well for East Liverpool. They were having a great day at West Branch in the tri-match against the Warriors in Crestwood. So that'll be fun. You have Youngstown East hosting the Academy of Urban Scholars. Brookfield goes to Newton Falls inside the conference. A very interesting one. Cardinal Mooney trying to kind of put their name on a big win as they go to Austintown Fitch. Fitch coming off their first loss of the year, so they're trying to regain momentum. Very interesting one going down in Austintown between Mooney and Fitch. Badger hosting Chalker. We just saw Chalker and what they can do last night as they beat Wyndham in 5 sets. Champion goes to Liberty tonight. We have Columbiana hosting East Palestine. Now, this is a big one, too, in the MVAC. Both teams undefeated overall in the conference tonight. In Crestview, Garrettsville, Garfield, Crestview. It's been these two in the MVAC pretty much since the start of the two-tier divisions. Crestview's gotten the better of them every year. Can the G-Men flip the tables this year? We'll see what they have in store tonight in Crestview. And then another one, both these games with first place on the line. Lakeview and Girard both undefeated in the conference. They're going at it tonight for the first time in Lakeview. So first place on the line there and in Crestview. That's what's driving this big night in volleyball, those two matches especially. But we have plenty of others. LeBray, who will be playing Crestview next, looking to get ready for them as they travel the southeast. Beaver in PA playing Lakeview over there in Pennsylvania, not Cortland Lakeview. Jackson Milton going to play host to Lowville tonight. Camel playing host to McDonald. First place McDonald Blue Devils getting the test from the Red Devils. Middle Ridge trying to keep their hot streak alive as they travel to Western Reserve. Both teams on a win streak. Hubbard hosting Niles tonight inside the NE8. We have Geneva going to Conneaut. Waterloo hosting Sebring tonight. South Range going to the Fieldhouse, and they're going to try to knock off the Wildcats in Struthers, a very tough place to play. Struthers has 4 wins on the year. South Range has 5, so this should be a very competitive matchup between those two. Southern Local goes to Latonia tonight inside the EOAC, and Warren JFK hosting St. Thomas Aquinas. Lisbon will be hosting United inside the EOAC as well. League play continues for both those teams. Continues for Wellsville as well. They got the win over Toronto last night. They'll try to carry that into their conference play with a matchup at Valley Christian. Orange playing at Hawken. Perry going to West Geauga. And then Jefferson has a trip to Madison tonight on tap for volleyball. So that is what is on the slate for volleyball tonight. On the boys soccer scene, a pretty deep schedule, as we have Harlan Christian hosting Jefferson County Christian. We have Warren Harding traveling to Ursuline. Jefferson will be hosting Berkshire. South Range going to Hubbard tonight. We have Pymantonie Valley going to Bristol. Girard traveling to Poland. Howland hosting Austintown Fitch. Canfield going to Boardman tonight. Beaver Local will be traveling to Cambridge. Harrison Central goes to East Liverpool tonight. West Branch travels to Marlington. Minerva will go to Salem. Orange hosting Chagrin Falls. Lakeview hosting Niles. Middle Ridge traveling to Badger. And then Beaver going to Hopewell tonight. And then last but not least, we go into the girls soccer side. We have Beaver Local hosting United tonight. Pymantonie Valley going to Bristol. Madison going to Conneaut. Edgewood going to Geneva. Perry will be traveling to Ashtabula Lakeside. And we have Liberty going to LeBray tonight inside the MVAC. So a lot of stuff, right? That is, let's count them up. 6 soccer games on the girls side. 16, that's 22. And then let's see, 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 28. So 22 and 28. Mental math, that is what 50 games total. Excuse me, happening tonight across volleyball, boys and girls soccer. Not to mention we had the Trumbull County golf meet going on this morning that finished up. I believe there are some other conference golf championships and tournaments being played tonight as well, or today I should say. So a lot going on across the Ysn family today. Let's get your broadcasters who will be on the network tonight and who will be covering your favorite teams. On the volleyball side, we will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 volleyball matches on the network. Chris Sigler will be going to Beaver Local for their matchup with East Liverpool, rivalry night in the Beaver Dome. We have Ty Bartell making the trip to Lakeview for their first place matchup with Girard. I will be in Crestview for their first place matchup with Garrettsville Garfield. Joe Eusebio going to be in Columbiana for their matchup with East Palestine. Matthew McConaughey will be at Struthers for their matchup with South Range. And then Rick Daly will have you covered for the Lisbon game against United. On the soccer side of things, we have Dom Polkovich. He'll be at Warren Harding and Ursuline. Perry School will have you covered for Perry at Lakeside. Matt Morrison will be going to Poland for their matchup with Girard. We have the AAC championships in golf. So that's Fitch, Boardman, Warren Harding, and Howland and Mill Creek. Just to Jackson, Milton, Salem, South Range, and Boardman at Mill Creek as well today. We have the girls AAC championships along with the Trumbull County meet today in golf. The Columbiana County invite is also today. It will teed off this morning at 9 a.m. You also have cross country today. Plenty of cross country runners today going on. So a lot to take in. It's a lot to support. We have a great day weather-wise if you're an outdoor sports fan. Checking out Storm Tracker 21 real quick. Forecast for today. Let's see. The high is going to be 81. Yeah, you got a little bit of clouds coming in after the 5 o'clock hour, but it should be very comfortable. 80s and then high 70s for the rest of the day. No rain in the forecast, thankfully. And what a great day that we're going to have on YSN. We'll be back tomorrow to recap all the great action with Running Point. Scotty Minter will be the sidecar like he is every Wednesday. Don't miss that. And we're going to have some fun tomorrow on Running Point, 1 to 2. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We all appreciate it, and we want to thank our sponsor as well, Greenwood Chevrolet, for constantly being a sponsor of Running Point. We will see you all tomorrow.